Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, E.T. Templar, Alien Crusader from Beyond the Heavens, here to entertain and destroy through the power of meme magic. And in this video, I'm just giving my points about this vaccination issue. And if it seems like I'm reading, it's because I am. I have 3 key points, and the 4th will be from the hip. So here we go. This first part is so much for anti-fascism. So, you know the people who, for the past 4 years, have been screaming about fascism and Nazism? These are the same ones who want to do the following. Number 1, mandatory vaccinations. Against people's will, just because the state says so. That kind of sounds like fascism and Nazism to me. Or communism. Insert whatever authoritarianism. 2, door-to-door checks about vaccinations, because that sounds like a free world. 3, taxes and fees levied against non-vaccinated or people who don't, because that's constitutional. And 4, one special identification for non-vaxxed or anti-vaxxers. Now, where have we heard that before in human history? I'm pretty sure that's happened somewhere else in history. So this next one is Goodie Two Shoes. Someone stop me if I'm wrong. America, or the United States, last time I checked, still had personal freedoms. The right for a person to decide their fate or preferences in life. Has this changed? I am an anti-COVID vaccination person, but am I going to wage a one-man fatwa against those who want to be vaccinated or believe in vaccination? No, because that's their choice to do so, and I respect that. And because that's someone's right or liberty to do so, by the way, dear vaccinated friends, stop trying to police friends and family into doing the same shit you are. And then again, I find it ironic how those that are for personal freedom turn on friends and family for their choice of not being vaccinated. I've even had this happen with family. How they demonize you and paint you as less of a human being for not going along with the plan. If someone wants to remain unvaxxed, they are not less of a human, and stop being a self-righteous, judgmental fuck just because you're a goody two shoes, go along to get along sheeple, okay? So, bravo. Good for you. If you want to be that person, again, this is America. You have the right to do so, and I'm not going to impede your right to be an idiot or not. Or, I have right to be an idiot, depending on your opinion. So, this third one is called We Know the Risk. Shut the fuck up. Just because you parrot medical stats and statistics or facts doesn't mean you know fuck all. You don't know what's good for my health. You're not an accredited doctor. And in the same light, to be fair, me as an anti-vaxxer, I can't spout the things that happen with the vaccines, the obscure side effects. I can't, tell that to people because, again, I'm not a vaccine, and I'm not a vaxmic. I'm not a doctor. But then again, that's my opinion to do so. Let's see. We know the risks. Shut the fuck up. We, as an anti-vax, think it's foolhardy to inject ourselves with an unproven, untrusted, blame-free big pharma companies if we do die. So, a good number of people who don't want to get vaccinated, we see the fact that it hasn't really gone fully through tested, that this vaccine has been pushed through without any care about side effects or future effects, if there are any. Hell, to be fair here, there could be no ill will effects later in the future. But we as non-vaxxers just don't want to dabble with shit that's unproven, and we don't want to put our health on the line. And guess what, vaccinated people? And if we do get COVID and die miserably, sucking on the last bit of air, you can point at us and laugh and tell us we're a bunch of idiots. But then again, that's our right to choose our destiny. It's not your right to dictate the destiny or the choice for other people. And here, this is what I wrote down. I believe that the risk of death is worth the gambit versus the side effects of a not so effective, probably dangerous vaccine. Okay, so there's been people who have been vaxxed twice that have still died from COVID. So the main thing the debates people have used against me is that, oh, it's somehow less dangerous. Okay, if you get the vaccine, COVID is not as fatal for you. But then again, people who are double jabbed have fucking died. So again, two sides. There's two sides to this argument, and at the end of the day, the person's soul is in their own keeping. You as a vax person and me as an anti-vax person don't have the right to dictate what the other should do. So we're in this weird situation that I mentioned at the beginning, right? You had people for the last 4 years that were talking and bellyaching about an authoritarian Trump fascist Nazi regime, right? But then again, these people, to repreference in the beginning, these were people who were against fascism, government authoritarianism when they're pushing mandatory vaccines, door-to-door checks, about vaccinations, taxes and fees levied against non-vaccinated or people who don't. And fourth, which this one's definitely juicy because, again, if you know your history and if you're not mentally retarded, there's a regime in Germany that had people wear little stars and political identification and specific identification. It wasn't just naturally a Hebrew thing. They had different symbols that would identify different groups, even religious groups and political groups. So again, these are people who are anti-fascist, anti-Nazi, pushing for special identification for individuals. And that's the ironic thing, again, here, is that there's these liberals who are open-minded, tolerant, loving people who just want to let people live their lives. Unless if you're anti-vax, you scum, put you in a camp, identify you. You take this jab, you're putting us all at risk. Your own personal freedom. Then again, that's your own personal freedom. And, fuck you. And what brought this on is that there's just so many people. And I'm getting quite sick and peeved. And this is my video as a way of saying, fuck you. Last time I checked, this was a free country. And even if it means me die, sucking on the last bits of hope and air, that's the way I choose. And because you, or whoever, is vaccinated, you do not have the right to police others. You do not have the right to pass legislation, to identify people, to levy taxes and fees against those who refuse to do so. Fuck you. And that's just all I gotta say. And again, as a peace offering here, to make this specifically clear, because people are going to take this shit out of context, I'm not against people wanting to get the vaccine, right? If that's what you want, you do you, boo. But at the end of the day, because you have a vaccine, does not make other people less than you, and it doesn't give you some special license or some form of special self-righteousness to tell unvaccinated or people who don't believe in it, oh yeah, they're going to die, right? Just fuck off. Take your vaccine, shut up, let people be. And I'll say that to the other side. And if you're unvaccinated, like myself, and you don't really believe in taking an untested, unproven drug, that again doesn't give you the right to go out and police other people who are vaccinated. So basically what, again, I'm trying to say is have some bit of decorum. Let people live their lives. Don't take up self-righteousness or a special form of self-righteousness that just because you've had the vaccine means you're more intelligent and a higher standard than people who don't. But then again, this is all involved around politics, and most people who are involved in politics, whether you're hard left, right, or whatever, you're kind of stupid anyway because you're following parties that don't give a fuck about you and don't care about you. But then again, the people who choose freedom, personal preference, and, that's their right to do so, and let people be. But then again, the people who complain about, personal preference in lives, where it's orientation or other issues, it's just really ironic and mind-boggling that these same people cannot leave unvaccinated people or people who don't want to be vaccinated alone. It's like, just fuck off, okay? If they if there are no bad things in 3 or 5 years with the vaccine, so be it. I'll eat my hat. And I'm repeating myself here, but it just, there's a class of individual out there. There's a kind of human who gets off of bullying and oppressing and just browbeating other people just because they think that when they're smarter and because they're part of the the power structure that, again, they can point at groups of people, vaccinated, unvaxxed, and this applies to other groups of people in society, right? Just let people be. You don't have to police your friends and family about this vax shit, okay? And you're not at risk because if the vaccine does work, theoretically, what do you have to fear from unvaccinated people, right? Right. So if these unvaccinated people, if they are to theoretically die off because they didn't get the vaccine, that shouldn't concern you, shouldn't. But then again, this goes back to also the pseudo-religious debate with atheists, agnostics, versus religious, right? Okay, so if religious people will believe in a God, Jesus Christ, and they believe in an afterlife, then that shouldn't bother you, right? Because then it doesn't affect you, and then if your point of view is right, then we're all worm food anyway. But then again, a faithful person, even if that does turn out to be true, that was their right to choose so. That was their right to believe in a higher power, Jesus Christ, or whatever religious entities are out there. So it's been an 11-minute video, which no one probably watched this far. So again, this has just been a rant and a philosophical debate from some nerd who happens to make YouTube videos. If you did watch this long into the video, you are awesome. Special thank you to you. And if you ever feel inclined to do a little bit more, like dropping a like or a dislike, comment below and or subscribe if you haven't already. And there's also some links in the description below if you want to support this channel further through subscribe to our Patreon or even tips with a message. You can leave a tip with a message that I would gladly do a solo video about. And I plan on doing a playlist, a singular playlist reacting to tips and messages if it ever happens. If it does, that would be kick-ass. If not, don't worry about it. And thank you for watching. See you next time. God bless. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And I hope we all make it on the other side of this pandemic. Whether you're unvaccinated or vaccinated, we all deserve to live long, happy lives with our friends and family. So there's, again, another olive branch. Don't take things too seriously. Don't be a self-righteous, condemning asshole. That, or the other.